Hi friends, good morning. This is Rasika from Ekascloud. Today I am going to start the webinar for this IAM, that is Identity and Access Management. Introduction about that particular service as well as the hands-on lab. Once we enter into this AWS Management Console, you can see the products. In the products, you have the featured service. In the featured service heading, you can go to the security, identity and compliance. So this featured service itself is explaining all the services listed in this security, identity and compliance is mainly focusing on the security part of the AWS management console as well as the products availability in the AWS web services. So we will start with this identity and management, identity and access management. Once we click on that one, you will be moving on to this tab with the detailed information about the identity and access management. What is that? It's securely manage access to AWS services and resources. That's what I have explained you before also. Now you can see how it works and the best practices. So what are all the key list for the best practices is users. Like in identity and access management, these are all the features we will use. Like users are nothing but create individual users. For example, you are creating a user details and user account, then you are assigning to the specific groups, that is manage permissions with groups, because in a higher corporate, that is a big corporate, they will be having multiple of users. So you can't go individually and create a individual users. For that one we need a groups. For example, we can take a department. For that department we will take this as groups. So individual groups will have different permissions to access the accounts. So for that purpose we can create a group and we can manage the permissions with the groups. So inside the groups, who are all the users available, they will have a similar permissions. So as an IT admin, we will have a easy access to the groups and the users. Permissions is nothing but grant least privileges. What type of access they are eligible to use the AWS account, what are all the services they can able to use it, and what is the limitation for the user to access the account, that is called permissions. Then auditing, so how the users are using, what type of permissions are entered to the groups, so those things are audited with the help of AWS Cloud Trial. Then the password is a major area, that how we are protecting the account and the user can easily access the account with the password. So we have to configure a strong password policy. So down towards you have this MFA. MFA is nothing but multi-factor authentication. So it's nothing but similar to password, but authentication is the secondary level also, like the add-on protection for the account. So we have to enable the MFA for privileged users. Then the next one is roles. Roles are nothing but use IAM roles for EC2 instance. It's nothing but for using these services. EC2 is one of the service, that is instance. So for using this service, we have to use the roles, that is the integration of other services with this service. For that one we have to assign a role. That's how this roles plays a important aspect. Then now the sharing is nothing but use IAM roles to share access. So how we are accessing the shared resources, for that one we are using this IAM roles. Then rotate is nothing but we are just rotating security credentials regularly. Normally many of them knows that banks and all, or the email accounts, they will be having a certain period to change the password. For example, for the last 30 days you haven't changed the password. So whenever you are trying to log in after a long period of time to your bank account or else the email account or some other account, then you will be getting a pop-up message stating that so many days you haven't changed your password, it's advisable to change your password. That's the message which helping us to rotate your security credentials. Then conditions is restrict privileged access further with conditions. So this condition is restricting privileged access further with conditions. So already we have given the permissions, so for that permissions we are giving some conditions. So that's what it has mentioned, that restrict privileged access. What is the privilege we have given in the permission? We are restricting that privilege further with conditions. Then root is nothing but reduce or remove use of root. So whenever you are trying to log into your account, AWS Management Console account, so it shows the two way like root user and IAM user. So right now I am just going to log in through root user, but it's advisable to use the IAM user. This root user is the account whenever the IAM user or the other users who are having some problems, that is the account got locked or the password or want to get retrieved, those times we have to use this root account access. Other times whenever we are using the services, it's recommended to use this IAM user. So creating that IAM user, we have to go log into this root user. So I'm just giving my login credentials as my email address, then I'm clicking on next. Now this security check is coming, so I have to provide the information which is popped up right there. After this you have to provide your password. So this console, now it's logged in with the help of root user. That's why this name and the account details has been properly mentioned over here. Now I'm just going to use these services called IAM, that is recently visited list, also IAM is there. Otherwise you go to search for the security area, like the featured service heading security, it's over here. These two options are there, and one more thing is that in this search box you can type IAM and it is redirecting to the IAM console. I have to click on this. So you have three options to search for this IAM option. So once it popped up over here, the first option is, you can see this sign in URL for IAM user in this account. So for this account there is no users right now. I am just going to create a user. Over here you have an IAM user for this account, no? So for this account, whoever you are creating the users, they can use this particular URL link to connect. That's what you can able to customize also. By clicking on this customize option, you have to give the preferred alias for account. For example, I am giving for demo, IAM user demo. So I am just giving as it is, IAM user demo. So I am creating. So on behalf of this particular account ID, this preferred alias for account will appear, and it's easy for us to remember the URL link. The specified value for accounts alias is invalid. It contains only digits, lowercase letters and hyphen, but cannot begin or end with hyphen. Okay. So it's restricted. So you have to use the smaller case. IAM user demo. See, that has been, it got changed. See, on behalf of the number, the preferred alias got changed. This is how we can able to change it. Or else if you want to delete the alias, in the IAM user in this account will not be able to sign in through the URL with this alias. This can still sign in using the URL with the account ID. If you don't want that particular alias details, then you can delete it. So again you will get the same account ID URL. So this is how you can able to customize your URL for IAM users. Now I am just going to create a user. Over here also you can click this hyperlink, or else in the navigation bar also you can able to select the user. By clicking this user, you are going to create a new user. So after clicking on add user or create user, you have to give the name. For example, I am just going to use this user for demo. So I am just giving demo as a user. Then we have to select the AWS access type. Access type, we have two access types, that is programmatic access and AWS management console access. Programmatic access is used for the help of security access key for the purpose of API, command line interface and software development kit and other development tools. So this is mainly focused for the developers. And this management console, I am just enabling both the options. Then you can able to auto generate, that is the console password can be auto generated password or custom password. Now over here I am just providing the custom password. So I have provided the custom password, so you can easily use this username and the password to log in the console. Required password reset. Required password reset is once you logged in to the IAM user account, so immediately you have to regenerate the password. So as of now I am just unchecking this option. Then I am going to permissions. So over here you got a message stating that you haven't created any groups yet. Using groups is the best practice way to manage users permissions by job functions, AWS services access or your custom permissions. So groups are the best options to delegate the permissions to the jobs as well as the service access, then custom permissions. All the things are advisable by using the groups. So right now I am just not going to use that one. I am going to attach the existing policies directly. So I am going to provide the EC2 access, EC2 read only access. For the demo purpose I am using this one. Now next tag, it's like helping us to identify the user with the department under the groups heading. It's very helpful to track the user details with the tag. So it's advisable to use the tag. Key is name and I am using Rasika as the user. With the name or the department ID or the employee ID, we can give whatever the information is required, we can provide the value. Next I am going to review this, what are all the information I have given for creating the IAM user. I have to review it, then I can able to create the user. The username is demo, then access is programmatic and AWS management console, then console password is customized, it's not auto generated. Then required password reset is no, because I haven't checked it. Permission boundaries is not it set, because there is no permission assigned to this particular user. Then permission summary, the following, because the groups are not assigned to this one, so it's mentioned like this. The following policies will be attached to the user shown above, that is EC2 read only access has been assigned to this particular user as a permission. Then the tag has been given. Now I am creating the user. So this password, this screen, once the user is created, you will be getting a screen like this. This screen is helpful to login via this command line interface or a SDKs. This is especially for the developers who can able to develop by using the command line interface. So for that one, this password is one time generated password. Again, we cannot able to generate the password. So you have to look like this and copy and paste it with the access ID and the security key access. Otherwise, you can send an email to your email address to keep the copy of this particular access key ID and security key access for the command line interface access, that is for the developing coding access, or otherwise you can able to download it. So you have three options to keep the security key access safe. So right now I am not going to use that particular provision, so I am just closing this. So the user is generated, created. So 1 minute ago the user got created with the password, active keys, there is no groups, last activity is nothing, then MFA is not yet generated. Okay, so I am just refreshing this one over here. Once it got refreshed, I am just going into this demo user, and you can see the permissions. Then the groups is not assigned because we haven't created any groups. Then tags is there, then security credentials. Over here, if you want to activate this MFA, that is multi-factor authentication, you can, but right now I am not doing it. Let me just show you the demo how the user and the permission works with the user. So for that one, I am just going to there. Okay, I'll show you a small thing, like I'm going in a private window. I'm trying to log in with the AWS Management Console. Then I'm trying to sign in. Over here, if I'm choosing this IAM user, then I have to provide a 12-digit account number or account alias. But over here, I have to go and check in my root account to get the account ID. Like this, I have to copy the account ID. Then I have to provide over here. Next. Then I have to provide the username as demo because I have given the username as demo. Then the password I have given as customized password. Then I can able to log in. See, access service favorites, resource groups tag and editor, visited, all browse, also browse all available services, and favorite your service here. Like you can able to feature the service. Now you can see the account name is looking like this. IAM user is demo and the account ID is like this. So now I will go into the services options and I will choose this EC2 because I have given the permission of EC2 for this particular user, that to only read only access. Right now there is no instance over here. I am just trying to launch the instance, so I can able to do all those things. But finally, see, we have talked about the role in the initial stage. No, You do not have permissions to list instance profile, contact your administrator or check your IAM permission. I'm just moving on fast. I'm using the default security group just simply to show you the access is only. See, you are not authorized to perform this operation. Encoded authorization failure message, because this IAM user is having only read only access. Okay, that's the reason why this IAM user is not able to launch an instance. Now I am just going to remove this policy, that is permission. Then I am going to add inline policy, clicking on this add inline policy. Import managed policies. Then I am going to provide the EC2 access full access. EC2 access full access of this EC2. So once it's loaded, see what are all the options are enabled for this particular IAM user, like EC2 access, ELB, CloudWatch, EC2 auto scaling. So in this JSON format, you can see the version statement and the actions are allowed. See the star option that shows all access, that is all permissions are allowed to access this particular action. This is how we are providing the permissions to the user for this particular service. Okay, once it's done, we are just reviewing, then you are creating. And you are creating the policy. This is EC2 demo, EC2 full access. This is the policy I have created. I have given the name and I am creating the policy. So there should not be any space. Then I am creating the policy. Sorry, there is some issue. So I can able to by mistakenly I have mentioned this add inline policy, but we are providing the permissions right now. We haven't started seeing the policies. So I am just going to add the permissions as it is. Attach existing policies, then EC2 full access. Then I have to choose this, then add permissions. Very simple, like just skip the portion which I have shown you for this add inline policy. That is for the separate chapter. So I will deal with that one in the next webinar. Okay. Sorry for that little confusion. Now this permission has been added because we are seeing only the user under the permissions. Now I am just going into the private, that which we have. Now I am going to retry the failed task. See, now it's launched because we have given the permission to fully access. That is the reason. Okay. Now I am going to see the instance. It's under the processing stage, it's in running stage. So now in the meantime I'll move on to the other service like S3. We'll go and see that one. See, so this is the pop-up message you're getting. Then I'm just creating, see, you don't have permission to list buckets. After you or your AWS administrator has updated your permissions to allow the S3 list all my bucket actions, refresh this page, learn more about identity and access management in Amazon S3. That's why they have mentioned as there is no permission to access this buckets, that is the S3 service is not allowed for this user. For this demo user, this particular service is not allowed. Only we have given the permission as easy to full access. That is the reason why this IAM user, the demo user, is not able to use the other services, only the easy to full access. So this is how this IAM user is created and the permission is assigned to this particular user. So the next upcoming video, upcoming webinar, we will see the remaining portions like user groups and one by one. Okay, thank you.